us.
You know, most YouTubers wouldn't comment here and capture this because of political stuff. You know what? I don't care. We're out here, baby. Like and subscribe.
Let's go back to the young Nick Shirley. Where'd you grow up?
Yeah, so I was born here in Utah, spending a lot of time. The Fraud in Minnesota is the most viewed video ever by a creator, longer than 10 minutes, than anybody other than the name of Mr. Beast. Altogether, it did around 500 million views.
Who do you think were the main people who signal boosted the video and brought it into that true viral orbit?
Elon Musk, who shared the video. JD Vance, he shared the video. You had the Attorney General, well, she actually didn't share it. She reacted to the video a few days later. Literally, quite frankly, every account on X saw that video instantaneously. Health and Human Services, they froze all funding to childcare inside of Minnesota.
The beauty about Nick Shirley is that he's too stupid to understand that this is coordinated. Like he's so dumb that he doesn't have the wherewithal to at least like try to make it seem like it's not coordinated, where he's just like, it's very clearly coordinated.
And they're asking for businesses to prove that they are legit businesses before they give tax dollars to these businesses that are not really businesses.
As far as that main center that you visited, Quality Learning, AKA Quality Learning Center.
Yeah.
Was there ever any kids there in the first place?
No. So that daycare center, it's been operating fraudulently. It's actually had over 90 violations over the past few years. And the day that I went there at 11 a.m. Their operating hours are from 2 to 10 p.m., they're now saying. And that's actually not legal.
So you said you went there at 11?
What? Fuck you mean they're not that's not legal? What?
O'clock in the morning?
Yes.
And their operating hours are between 2 and 10 p.m.?
Allegedly.
But if that is true, would it have made sense that you didn't see any kids there?
Yeah, it would have made sense if I didn't see children there. Either way, whether I was there when kids were supposed to be there or not, why are all the windows boarded up? Or why are all the windows blacked out? Why is there no phone number that leads to anywhere? These businesses are supposed to be operating to serve children. People should be able to check in their child there and their children into these daycares. It's literally impossible.
Did you see some of the footage released by a CBS Minnesota affiliate station that showed kids entering and exiting the facility?
Yeah, the one on the ABC. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that one received over $1 million. It's licensed for 40 children. CBS, I believe, they go in there the day after I had posted my video. Obviously, they're gonna have children there when they're getting all this heat.
I take my kids here, 2 o'clock to 10. Yeah, there's a lot of kids inside.
And same thing at that daycare. Why are all the windows blacked out? This is a daycare. Why can't a lady just give me a paper to enroll a child? This door is locked.
This facility is licensed for 40 children.
Well, I guess maybe I'm just trying to think from all perspectives and help you clear up some misconceptions.
Yeah.
I mean, I figure like if you're going with a camera and like 3 or 4 dudes, some of whom were like larger security looking guys, some had face gaiters on, maybe there's a fear that there's like something weird going on, or it just seems unfamiliar and they feel like they don't want to let you in.
Yeah, they might feel that fear, but if they're operating legally, why would they have anything to fear? And the neighbors around it, so they have not seen a child.
Bro. I think he's legit too stupid. I think he's legit too stupid to understand. But what's even a more damning situation for broader society is that we are too stupid, broadly, to recognize how stupid he is. Because this guy is like a regular old idiot, right? He's slow. I mean, let's be real. He is a fucking slow person, right? So slow that it kind of comes across like I'm being ableist when I criticize him. But the problem is, like, he's very clearly responding to these questions like a stupid person would. Like, oh, why isn't there people... why wouldn't they open the door for me? It's like, yeah, dude, because you're a fucking random stranger. Like, what? Of course. Quick question. Oh, hey, can you explain why he's stupid instead of saying he is? Yes, 2 minutes and 42 seconds in, he literally is asked, well, don't you think it's reasonable to not see children if you go to a fucking daycare facility outside of regular business hours? And he goes, yeah, that's, I guess, is kind of true. And then he says, the what daycare facility is open from 2 to 10 p.m. That's illegal. That's not, okay? That's not the case. You just made that up, okay? You just lied. Clearly, that's not the case. And he just doesn't understand it. Like, he's too dumb to comprehend why why the fucking windows would be blacked out in a daycare facility so that like prying eyes can't look inside because children's safety is the primary concern. He is too stupid to recognize that, you know, they're not going to open the fucking doors to him. Whether they are criminally liable or not, they're not going to fucking open the doors to him. Like, what are we talking about? Why would they open the doors to a random person with like a bunch of masked thugs?
Child there for 8 years. And if you go on Google Maps right now, you can actually see the images of the daycare progress over the past few years. And starting in 2021, the door is boarded up from the image from Google Maps. So I think like if you show that, it's actually pretty crazy to see. And then they moved the building and they cut open a door on the backside of the building as well, where they had the Quality Learning Center. One man's been living there since 2017, hasn't seen a single child. And when I go and post my video on X, a lot of people were saying, well, Nick, you went during winter break. Well, actually, I went December 16th. School was still in session, so kids should still be going to daycare. The following days after the video then goes viral and gets over 100 million views, they have a person come out and he says, no, we're open. I'm the manager. I'm the son of the owners. We're open. At that same time, simultaneously, the lady who's in charge, the Commissioner of Children of Minnesota, says the daycare closed a week ago.
Quality Learning Center, which Brown says permanently closed last week.
While we have questions about some of the methods that were used in the video, we do take the concerns that the video raises about fraud very seriously.
So I film my video, daycare's allegedly open. Then, a few days later, the lady says that the daycare was closed, while that guy is outside telling people that the daycare is open.
I mean, it seems like that learning center has had a serious history of violations.
Quality Learning Center, yes.
Yeah, going back to 2020.
Yeah, it's literally not a daycare.
But how could they have violations related to childcare if there was no kids there?
Yeah, the way they're operating inside of there, they had the violations. Those people are not able, they were operating fraudulently inside that daycare.
But fraud would mean there's no kids, but the violations relate to like poor safety conditions that put the kids in danger.
And so why would they be operating, and why would Minnesota continue?
Again, he is too stupid. Bro. This is a unique instance where someone is too dumb to get owned in a conversation. I'm not kidding when I say he's medically stupid. Like, you can't have a normal conversation with this guy because he can't even understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. And even worse, he doesn't understand the words coming out of his mouth. Like, the question is, it's funny because, like, the questions Andrew's asking are all the same questions that I asked when I first watched the video, right? Where I was like, when we were looking through the Department of Human Services licensing reports, and we found that, like, every single one of these daycares have been audited as a part of the routine licensing process. And they actually had some instances of not fraud, but some issues, right? Like substandard conditions and things like that. But all of that actually proved that there were kids there. There were obviously children there, right? But I guess the very same people that looked at my commentary at the time, the very same people that were looking at my commentary at the time and saying, "Oh, you're dumb, you're wrong, actually, fuck you, you're biased, you're a commie," are the exact same people that have the same medically stupid background that this guy has.
To be giving them millions of dollars if they're receiving all these violations?
That seems like a really valid question.
Yeah.
Why do you think Minnesota would be giving a daycare center with so many violations so much money?
Well, that same man at Quality Learning Center who was saying that they were open after the commissioner was on the live stream saying they were closed a week ago was also partying with the mayor of Minneapolis.
Is the manager of the infamous Learning Center in Minneapolis also one of the guys that was dancing in the back of Mayor Jacob Frey's election victory video, the one that went super viral where he thanks his constituents in Somali for re-electing him last month?
So you feel like there's kind of like some nonprofit industrial complex type of deal happening?
For sure.
And the agenda is just for people to leech off the government and get free stuff?
81%.
New conspiracy theory. He latched onto the Learning Center shit because he thinks it proves that he can read. He can't. Someone told him about it. I fucking love that, dude. I love that. That's real. That's real. That's my head. That's in my head canon too now. Chatter. Oh my God, you're right. Oh my God. Someone was like, hey, do you know what that sign is? And he's like, I don't know how to read. And the guy was like, it says quality Leering Center. And he was like, what's wrong with Leering? And then the guy was like, dude, it's supposed to say Quality Learning Center. And he's like, I don't know what learning is. And then basically he was just like, just tell people that it's stupid that it says Quality Leering Center, and they'll know that you can read and you're actually comprehending the things that you're reading.
Of the Somalian population inside Minnesota is living off welfare, and 89% of the fraud being committed inside Minnesota.
Care to comment why you attended a Diddy party? To fuck your mom. Yeah, that's right. Your mom was like, Hasan, please show up to this house. I show up. Turns out it's a Diddy party. I have sex with your mom. I leave. She stayed behind. She might have, had sex with more people there after the fact, but I don't know. I was there for your mom. What happened to your hand? Is that from the ceiling fall? You're my favorite. I love this new meta of just like pulling Asmongold chatters. You're on the TV, man. Please calm down. Sorry. We'll continue.
By the Somalian population.
So what do you think the solution to something like that is?
Go freeze the funding. Each business can then prove if they are legit, and if they can't, cut the funding. And so far, no business has sent any information to the HHS showing that they're legit as of today. They've had 3 days to do it. They haven't been able to prove it. They haven't even tried to make the effort to show that they're a legit business.
First it was closed, then it was open, and now we've confirmed it's closed again. That's all after the owners recently rejected allegations of stealing taxpayer money.
Do you trust America and the government specifically to handle our taxpayer funds correctly and properly if they have access to more of them?
No, I don't think any of us should. I mean, just last year alone, over $120 billion were misplaced.
So you have a general distrust in the government?
No, I don't have a distrust necessarily in the government, but do I think we should trust the government 100%? No. It's kind of like having faith. Like,
what? Bro, I'm telling you, this is fucked up. I can't believe that they're making this kid. I cannot believe that they're making this kid parade around as like a Republican pundit. You know what I mean? Like, you should just send him to the farm, big dog, so we can go and, like, I don't know, pet the goats. But not too hard, Not too hard. You might actually pet him too hard and then accidentally kill him. But like, he should probably stay away from polite society. He should probably, not harm people, right? Or himself. Now I know why his mom drives him around everywhere, though, because there's no way. There is 0% fucking chance that this dude is safe behind a wheel. No one is safe. I do not think, I'm standing by this, I do not think he is legally allowed to drive a car. I do not think that he is legally allowed to be anywhere without constant adult supervision. I wouldn't let him boil water alone. Yeah, for sure. It's kind of crazy because, like, it really does show that the Republican side is desperate for genuinely a dumbass, right? Like, the Republican audiences were looking for a person who has the intellectual capacity of a sea cucumber. Okay. Like, it was, it's not even the Ben Shapiro's. I know from the Ben Shapiro's, we pivoted to the Andrew Tates of the world. And clearly a lot of right wingers were like, oh, this is too intellectual. I don't want it. It's woke and gay. I need someone who's even dumber than that and more entertaining. And then from the Andrew Tates of the world, people moved on to like the Asmongols of the world, right? Like a guy who just goes, yeah, based. But here we have an even dumber version. Like, not just like a yeah-based kind of guy who just confidently is wrong all the time, but at least in the direction of being pro-Donald Trump, but a person who legitimately cannot drive a vehicle, is not legally allowed to operate a vehicle, Probably should never boil water. Probably should stay away from any sort of kitchen tools and cutlery. And they're like, this is my guy. This is the fucking GOAT. Wow.
Do you want to have faith in that God's real? Yes. When we die, will we for certain know exactly where we're going? You kind of walk with faith in a way where you hope that the people that you elect are going to work for your best interest.
Hasan, kind of like what the doctors told my mom I was going to be, in parentheses, R-worded. The doctors told your mom that you were going to be like mentally, what's the fucking proper way to say this, by the way? I don't know what it is. What do you say, like medically? Because I say medically stupid, but what's the actual mentally challenged? Bro, that still sounds crazy. Mentally, intellectually disabled? Cognitively impaired? Okay, that sounds more woke.
Do you know for...
I would just say Republican since birth, honestly. Like if I was a doctor and I found out that there was like any sort of cognitive impairment, I'd be like, I'm sorry, ma'am. You're gonna have a wonderful son, but he's gonna be a lifelong Republican voter. Yeah. Yeah, it's a real bad case of RSB, Republican since birth syndrome. It's very fucked up. Many such cases kind of feels like you did not consume enough Tylenol during the pregnancy, and these are the results. This is why we kept telling you, you need more Tylenol in your system. But he will have a wonderful career as a YouTuber ahead of him when he becomes of age. You'll have to drive him everywhere. You'll have to keep him away from cutlery. But
certainty that the best thing is happening inside the country, every single time you pay taxes, it's going to go to the place that needs it? No. But on that case, do I feel certain that I know where I'm going to go when I die because of my faith? Yes. But does that mean that it's going to actually happen? Who knows until we pass the other side. So, and then another thing is, we as Americans, how should we feel comfortable knowing that there are daycares receiving millions of dollars while some families are paying upwards of $70,000 a year for their children to be going to daycare?
yeah, it is pretty impressive that his mommy at least tied his shoes for him so he doesn't have to wear the zipper shoes, you know? He doesn't have to wear the Velcro shoes today. So that's pretty chill. You know, he's a big boy. He's meeting up with his idol.
You ever hear about the Amy Bach case?
The white lady?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amy Bach acknowledged the government has proven fraud among meal sites and vendors that she sponsored under Feeding Our Future, but that it was others, not her.
If you look at the probe that began in 2023, as far as like COVID era, scamming and different types of fraud, there's been over like 60 convictions and millions seized from the fraudsters who took the money away.
Yeah.
But you feel like the state hasn't done enough.
Well, Tim Walz has said they've been stopping to fight fraud since 2019, 2020.
Please abandon the ad hominem on his stupidity. Just call his worldview and argument stupid. It's not a good joke to attack this man directly. It's going to alienate people in the margins. I could be wrong. What? Honestly, best to drop the entire stupid joke is disparaging and unnecessary. Can we just attack this man for his arguments? No. It's pretty funny. I mean, I've already fucking done it over and over again. Also, I'm not even joking when I say he's medically stupid. I don't think it's like, I think it's gotten to a point where because everyone is also just as stupid as this guy is, it kind of doesn't matter. Like it's almost like a superpower. It's good that he's dumb, right? It helps him spread his propaganda further. If he was actually trying to make a convincing like intellectual argument, then he would probably alienate like 90% of the people that watch the video.
And they're still having millions of dollars being stolen. Billions of dollars.
Breaking political news out of Minnesota. Governor Tim Walz, who of course was the Democratic nominee for vice president in 2024, has ended his re-election bid for governor. This comes as pressure has been growing around this widening welfare fraud scandal.
We've got conspiracy theorist right-wing YouTubers breaking into our daycares, demanding access to our children. So I've decided to step out of this race, and I'll let others worry about the election while I focus on the work that's in front of me for the next year.
I have quite literally saved America millions of dollars. That's why you saw the mainstream media attack me instantaneously after I exposed $100 million in fraud. Why would they not go investigate the fraud? Why would they investigate the person who investigated the fraud?
Where does that $100 million figure come from specifically?
Yeah, so you had all the daycares. With the daycares alone, you had millions of dollars in fraud. And then inside of the home healthcare businesses, they were warehouse-style industrialized buildings where you had 14 of the same healthcare companies all working within the building, and they could not even give you a rate. We know how expensive healthcare is, and they're giving these companies millions of dollars. And the man, David, who's in my video, he's the one who has the statistics and has the numbers on how much these businesses were operating.
It is far worse than anybody can imagine. You heard it's 7 to 10 billion and maybe more, and now the numbers have been revised and put out there publicly that they think it's more like 8 billion.
How did you come into contact with David?
He just messaged me on Instagram, and he said, Nick, I have the information about the fraud taking place here inside Minnesota. I've been looking into it for years. I have somebody from inside the Capitol who has given me the numbers of CCAP funding. I've been trying for years to expose this fraud. Nobody will listen to me. Please give me a call.
Has he shown you that data?
Yeah, that's what's inside the video. When you see the video and the screenshots of the CCAP funding, that's all straight from the Capitol of Minnesota.
So who is David's source?
David's source, he has somebody inside the Capitol.
And you don't know
and
who
that's
it is?
Public information as well.
Who is it?
Who is the person's name?
Yeah.
Wait, it's public information, so you don't even need an inside source.
The lady's name, I did not work with her. However, the information that was provided, I can't tell you her name right now, but I could find it on X because, but she's also inside the government there inside Minnesota.
But you like fact checked all that and you looked it all up.
Yeah, David.
Oh my God, it is that Republican. It is that Republican. It's the fucking Republican in the state government. So that lady was right. Remember when that lady was like, oh, I'm the one who fucking gave this information and told him which daycare facilities to go to. And he was like, nah, that's not the case. And then Lisa DeMuth, right? And then he fucking followed up and said, literally said, but you would be a wonderful governor one day. That's what he said. Yeah, Lisa DeMuth, breaking NPR News, reports that Minnesota House Republican Lisa DeMuth acknowledged the Republican Party's involvement in Nick Shirley's viral daycare video, saying, we work with Nick Shirley on this. Remember, this person has blood on her hands, for the record. Lisa DeMuth staffers asked David to DM him. He's too stupid to realize. Yeah, he said, this is completely false. I have no idea who this lady is. She's trying to make herself look good for her campaign. Shame on her. Either way, I'm sure this lady would make for a much better candidate than Tim Walz. Best of luck in the race, and the truth is the truth. Fraud is happening.
All those numbers are straight from the Capitol.
So a couple days ago, Minnesota State Representative Lisa DeMuth said that her Republican caucus.
Nick Shirley is a hero. He opened someone's eyes to the fraud happening in Minnesota, and you should be grateful for his journalism. Anyone who thinks he's a mentally challenged dumbass is correct. I'm confused by both these two statements. Are you saying that he's still a hero, even though he's a mentally challenged dumbass hero? Who accidentally stepped on the greatest discovery of fraud taking place? No, he's a dumbass. I'm rage baiting. Oh.
Had been, quote, working with you ahead of your coverage. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, I had no idea who she was.
Our caucus has been working to expose fraud for years, including working with Nick Shirley.
Minnesota House GOP leaders say they provided the YouTuber with information in the now viral video.
So you feel like she's just clout chasing?
Yeah, that's what I literally put in the reply on the tweet. Her campaign freaked out when I tweeted that. That's the lady who I was referring to earlier in this interview. So her.
Oh, so she did help. Okay. But you're too stupid. Dude. So what's funny about it is that, so yes, the lady was actually not even clout chasing. She actually did literally direct you to go to these places, but because you're so fucking stupid and confused, you didn't realize. This is what I mean, bro. This guy would be the best spy. This is like Mr. Bean shit, okay? Like you can't put this guy on a lie detector test because he's too stupid to know the truth. You could ask him what he had for breakfast, and you know full well what he had for breakfast, and he could straight up lie to you because he forgot what it was. And it would not read on the detector test. This is hilarious. This is awesome. Just a guy who's stumbling in to all this stuff. I'm telling you, dunking on. I know. I've been saying this. Oh my God! Oh, it's awesome.
Benevolent billionaires.
What do you mean by the word benevolent?
Just well-intentioned, positive billionaires who you think are creating you know, net positive societal progress?
Trump, our president. I think he.
Who do you think are
I've never been so fucking vindicated. But also, it's not even vindication. It's like, I cannot, dude, the first 48-hour media cycle of people receiving Nick Shirley's slopaganda was a mind-breaking moment for me. I was like, what am I looking at here? Like, this is a genuinely intellectually stunted individual who's not even making a fucking convincing case. And you got motherfuckers who went to college like Atriok being like, oh, there's really good journalism here. I could not believe it, dude. I know we're going back to Atriok. I don't want you to hate on him. I don't even hate him. I don't hate him at all. I actually like Atriok. But I could not understand it. I was like, what am I seeing right now? Like, what has happened to society? Fuck! I could not believe it. I could not believe it. The fucking vice president was like, give this man a Pulitzer. What is going on? I felt like I was in fucking Idiocracy, dude. It just, like, how? How is this possible? How did so many, it's not even how stupid he is personally, because that is hilarious to watch, hilarious to unfold. I mean, he literally went into a medical plaza, as like, looked at it. When I watched the video, the second half of it was like, that's when I was like, we're not surviving as a society. He went into a medical plaza and straight up said, why are there so many competing businesses in this one plaza? Like a guy who doesn't understand the concept of a mall, okay? Like, think about that. Like, that's a new guy. That's a guy that has not existed yet. We're talking guy who straight up crawled out of his mother like yesterday, dude. Was comatose for like 23, 24 fucking years and just got out of a coma. Like, how? How is that possible? Guy who doesn't understand the concept of a mall is a new guy in America. If we got one thing, we got malls, baby. That's the one thing that every American understands from birth. Guy who walks outside of PF Chang's and gets scared because he sees like the towering, massive horse riders. Okay, he's like, whoa, why is nobody seeing this? Look at how big those guys are. I've never seen an animal that size before. It's gonna trample on me. Whoa, giant horse. Oh. Yes, this is why homeschooling children should be illegal, 100%.
Her staff was the people that David had received the information from because David.
Brother, people saying don't do the accent. He literally said, what does benevolent? Okay, what do you want me to do? I don't know how to do his voice. Like,
what do you mean by the word benevolent?
Like, that's just his voice, dude. Look.
Benevolent. Just. What do you mean by the word benevolent?
What do you mean by benevolent? Read a book! Fuck! Ah!
Just well-intentioned benevolent. Just or benevolent. Just what do you mean by or benevolent?
Oh, Jesus Christ. The stupid in here is uncomprehendable. What do you mean by uncomprehendable? What do you mean by the word?
reached out, and she works inside the government, so she did actually a good job by doing what she's supposed to do by serving the people and giving that information.
Yeah, it says that Harry Niska, a Republican representative who's a staffer for her, was the one who gave the intel to David.
Yeah, that probably sounds about right, but good on her.
What a comment saying, I have a deep-rooted fear that this is how I come across when I talk to people. This felt like interviewing a COD player. Straight up did not realize Shirley is borderline illiterate. Tracks, though. He's everyone's savior. He's my savior. He's your savior. Thank you, Lamau. You should have said something about Charlie Kirk. I did. No, you didn't. I did. It's in this video. Well, I didn't watch it. You should. I don't want to. Feels like a pretty succinct summation of how this guy sources info. Oh, my God. I just want to point out he's not wearing shoelaces. He's wearing those laces kids get. They can't tie their shoes, by the way. Wait, really?
Actually caring about
I think his mommy actually tied his shoes. I know he can't tie his shoes. Let's be real. But I know his ass can't tie his shoes. But I just assumed his mommy tied it for him. No, it's not Velcro.
Fraud.
I looked.
Fraud's been taking place for
that was the first thing I looked at, Chad. Come on, let's be real.
years.
And it's really affected the city on that big of a level, too.
Wait. I think if this guy was criminally charged for the propaganda that he put out that incited like the incident that ended up taking the life of Renee Good, he would not be found criminally liable in a court of law because of his genuine intellectual disability. I think a jury of his peers, well, not his peers, but you know what I mean, would not be able to find him criminally liable. Okay, there is no way. They would be like, no, he does not know what he's doing. It's just not, call it cognitive limitations. It sounds better. No, they would just straight up say he's mentally incompetent. He doesn't know what he's doing. So it wasn't his fault. If anything, the handlers around him are probably more liable for sending his ass around.
The point where people like David are feeling it.
Yeah, because what they knew is Minnesota is not Minnesota anymore.
As far as immigration goes?
Immigration goes, fraud. They just released a new thing where they're giving people 20-week leaves for work leaves, and they've also raised property taxes. Meanwhile, you have billions of dollars, quite frankly, literally billions of dollars over the past few years going to fraud. It's not a hyperbole, it's fact. Government has shown that upwards of $9 billion has gone to fraud. I would vote for anybody but Tim Walz inside that state of Minnesota.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad you cleared that up because, it's like the same reason that people lost trust in traditional media is because they felt like there was no barrier between the establishment and, corporate news pundits. And they felt like CNN was an arm of the Democratic Party and then Fox was an arm of the conservative wing. So the fear now that I've thought about before, and I'm not saying this is happening, it will probably take like 5 to 10 years, is that somehow the political powers that be figure out how to use the independent creator economy like on a sleeper cell level to do their bidding for them.
Yeah, that could happen.
Like with influencer contracts and stuff like that.
Yeah, you saw the DNC do that. All the people that are out talking against me, a lot of them have cut checks from the DNC.
Through like a paid influencer program?
Yeah, and it's public.
Would you ever agree to something like that?
No, never.
Hell yeah.
Like, why? I don't need it. I make enough money doing my videos off YouTube, and the people that support me, like, why would I ever turn against their best interest?
And you mentioned that the mainstream media has kind of been attacking you since this video did its rounds. What are some of the things they've said? Like, what's their main point of attack?
Yeah, if you listen every single time they bring up Nick Shirley on these news sites or the internet or on their TV, they'll say right-wing YouTuber, MAGA YouTuber, conservative. It's never journalist Nick Shirley. It's right-wing journalist.
I mean, yeah, I wonder why, dude.
Nick Shirley.
Yeah.
MAGA influencer Nick Shirley.
Yeah. When I interviewed Hunter Biden, they did a RV YouTuber was the one they would use for all like which actually sounds pretty cool. Like I'd want to be that, but I'm not that. And then like a liberal podcaster.
Why is it never astronaut Hasan? Yeah, exactly. They always say progressive mind and MAGA body, never astronaut. Firefighter. I want to be known as firefighter. Why no astronaut?
And with that, in the Atlantic said Gen Z influencer. So
yeah, it's just like they're so mad that we have the opportunity, people like me and you, to upload a video and to get more views than them. Essentially, we're a threat to their entire industry. That's why they hate us. That's why they will never give us credit. And so when they see me doing what I'm doing, when they see me get more views than they will get onto their website for the whole entire year on one single video, yeah, it's going to make a lot of people mad.
So-called evidence comes from a man who has posted anti-Muslim and anti-immigrant content in the past. CNN's Whitney Wild speaks to the man behind that video and takes a look at his claims.
We're from CNN. Can we talk to you? This is mega YouTuber Nick Shirley.
Yeah, so going back to the first time we met, so what do you remember about that first interaction?
I had just started making YouTube videos again, and I was all by myself. You were going to AmFest, so was I. I was going to interview people about what's happening here inside the country, and I thought I had no idea exactly what I was walking into. I just knew there was going to be a lot of people to interview about what was happening inside the country. I thought it was like called America Fest, so I had no idea what Turning Point was. I had no idea who Charlie Kirk was at that time. It was funny because I'd watched you before on All Gas No Brakes, and you're always in that beige suit, just moving around and doing your videos, and so I was like stoked to see you. It was great meeting you the first time.
I remember I first saw you, and you were setting up a tripod, and I was like, yo, what should I do? And you told me, you were like, you should go cover the border. And I told you, I was like, I want to go to Nogales to cover it. And you were like, no, you should go to Lukeville.
Yeah.
So you were the one who actually sent me in the right direction to do
Yeah,
those
you
interviews.
actually said, hey, can I get that information? I'd love to do something with you. I sent you the information, then ghosted me right after.
Well, now the whole world's going to know that there wouldn't have been a border video without my guy Nick right here.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. Was that, so you said you had just started making videos in 2023, but had you done interviews before that?
Yeah, so I had actually started, I've been doing YouTube since 2017 when I was a sophomore in high school. I started just wanting to have fun with my friends, and I started watching YouTubers, and I saw kind of like the lifestyle they lived, and I was like, oh, I'm fun. I like to have fun. I'm creative. I can be entertaining. I could do YouTube. Like a lot of us think when we're in high school, like how many discussions have you had with your friends where you're just like, bro, that could be us.
You know, most YouTubers wouldn't come in here and capture this because of political stuff. You know what? I don't care. We're out here, baby. Like and subscribe.
Let's go back to the young Nick Shirley. Where'd you grow up?
Yeah, so I was born here in Utah, spending a lot of time with my family, friends, playing football, basketball, soccer, track, you name it. Sports was my entire life when I was younger.
True American life.
Yeah, true American life, going to church.
Ban Tylenol? Bro, he didn't eat enough Tylenol, brother. Come on. This is the opposite. He didn't get enough Tylenol.
Decent grades, having fun, hanging out with friends.
Jesus Christ, such a dickhead sometimes. He's still trying to figure out adjectives. Dude, you're right. I'm sorry. I don't think people understand that this is truly a new meta, okay? People who are medically stupid are going to be the next wave of content creators for the Republicans, because even like the Andrew Tate stuff is not cutting it. You know, even Asmongold is not cutting it. They need dumber. They need someone with even less information. They need someone who can't even speak one language. You know, you had the monolinguists, the monolingual cucks, okay, who were cucked by one language. But if you have like a decent grasp, a decent command over the English language, it's still not enough. You come across too brilliant, too impossible to understand. It's too dense. The material is too dense. You need to literally go, you need to go half. You need to go 0.5 language. Okay? Yeah, semi-lingual. That's where we're at now. Because like this guy's stupidity is not all that relevant to me. What's a lot more relevant to me is that his stupidity has basically caused him to be incredibly successful in that one propaganda video. So when you get someone who's not even trying to present an argument, but simply just like doing the dumbest shit possible, get elevated by Elon Musk, you can actually change American legislation to a certain degree. Like the government took action after this video. Okay, right place at the right time, certainly. People wanted to distract away from the Epstein files. But it is kind of remarkable. I can't get over it. I just cannot get over the fact that this guy who does not have two fucking brain cells, like demonstrably stupid, medically stupid, was capable of commanding an impressive audience who watched that video and did not think, what the fuck am I doing getting information from this guy who can't even tie his own fucking shoes? It's over. American society is over, okay? I see the journal, the Nature Journal of Medicine, like the most enterprising, the most robust medical, or not medical, but like the most robust research coming out of China. It's like the top 20 colleges are all Chinese now. Okay. This goes hand in hand with that. We're cutting R&D. We're cutting research. We're gutting all of these other like institutions of higher learning for not demonstrating proper fealty to the nation state of Israel. It's over. America is committing suicide, a national suicide. And things like this are going to become more and more commonplace.
Riding your bike around.
And you said the church. What kind of church?
Yeah, so member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Is that the same thing as Mormons?
Yeah, but we don't call ourselves Mormons now.
Because of South Park?
No, it's just we're not Mormon. We don't follow Mormon. We follow Jesus Christ. So we actually want people to refer to us and know us as members of the Church of Jesus Christ.
So Joseph Smith is not a prophet?
No, he's a prophet.
In addition to Jesus?
Jesus is a savior.
Oh, okay.
He's also a prophet, but he's also our savior. He's your savior. He's my savior. He's everyone's savior.
Thank you. So what do you think is the main thing people get wrong about LDS?
We're Christians. We're just people who love God and love Jesus. And yeah, we do follow higher standards. No drinking, no smoking, no sex before marriage. Go to church on Sunday, follow the 10 Commandments. Follow the Bible. We follow the Bible.
One of your earliest videos that you now deleted was about some of those loopholes.
Oh yes, about soaking.
Have you ever thought about soaking here at BYU? No.
Because there's a lot of misconceptions on that, and that's not right. Soaking's not right.
Is it real though?
I interviewed people at BYU and they might have said it was.
So you think it counts?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Wow, the rumors are true. Kids here at BYU actually do soak.
They soak and they hump.
Definitely.
I think that's like my biggest advantage, that I don't really have many vices, whether it be pornography, whether it be alcohol, whether it be cigarettes, whether it be vapes, whether it be nicotine. That stuff doesn't tempt me.
And you feel like living a clean life that way gives you like a journalistic superpower that allows laser focus so you can just become a content machine?
No.
It's kind of what you're doing.
Well, that's just who I am.
But I mean, I feel like if you drank and partied and stuff, you might not be able to make as many videos.
Well, if I drank and partied, I wouldn't be able to show up to my job at McDonald's.
You'd probably be able to hold down a McDonald's job if you had some years.
But if you're referring to being on time and all that stuff, and
I'm talking about the sheer volume of content you've been able to produce over the past year.
I'm a highly functioning person.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Aside from the recent stuff, what pieces have you been most proud of since I last saw you at Turning Point USA?
I'd say my Brazil videos, those were very awesome. Going to the favelas, that was an experience that I can't even believe favelas are real after going there. Because I came this close to dying in the bottom of a destroyed house on the top of Rio's biggest favela.
When you say close to dying, like there was a gun on your face?
Yes, and if I didn't pay the man, I would have died.
You think so?
100%.
Você dá-lhe uma olhada que você vai ver que aqui não tem trégua.
Oh, whoa, this is heavy.
É, aqui, entendeu? Não há paz. Paz para a polícia, fogo.
That guy, after I interviewed him, he got beat up by the gang leader and kicked out of the favela for letting me interview him.
Some other unknown, or perhaps known by some, Nick Shirley lores that you've met deceased rapper YBC Duel.
Yes, I did meet him. It was Brandon Buckingham.
Yeah.
I had no idea who he was.
A special guest right here.
Oh, we got special guests too. Talk to us.
This is Nick Shirley from Salt Lake City, Utah. The Latter-day Saints, the Mormons. You ever heard of the Mormons? This is the first Mormon, the first Church of Latter-day Saint member ever to be out here in Philly like this.
Just like that. Just like that.
Feet on land.
Look at his sneaks though.
Yeah, so that was an equally, I would say, or similarly dangerous
Yeah,
scenario.
no, I'd say the America hoods are about just as dangerous as the.
Like, this dude makes Brandon Buckingham look like Albert Einstein, okay? I can't believe I'm saying this. But there's levels to this, man. There's levels to this shit. It's crazy. Yeah, end times are upon us, dude. National suicide, straight up.
For instance, Chicago, you have armed militias walking around Chicago as well. Same within Philly. Think about how many young people are dying because of gang violence. Like, I loved your video you did in Baltimore about them kind of combating that and showing that like community really can make a difference and people really need to be looking out for one another because it's not worth dying for.
So going back to high school, right? So you said that after high school you went on a mission trip, right?
Yeah.
Where to?
Chile, Santiago.
Is that where you developed fluent Spanish?
Yeah, I actually was fluent in Spanish when I was younger. When I was here in Utah, when I was growing up, I was in a Spanish immersion program from kindergarten to 4th grade. Spoke Spanish fluently, moved to Washington. Similar to you, moved up to Seattle area. I didn't practice my Spanish anymore. I lost it. Decided to go on this mission thing for our church. And they sent me to Chile, Santiago, and I learn Spanish again.
What's the purpose of a mission trip?
Yeah, you're there to go share the gospel, the restored gospel of Jesus Christ, and to teach people about Jesus and give them the opportunity to come into Christ, and if they want to follow, or if you just want to teach them about Jesus, that's all you're supposed to do.
At what point did you start to really take political interviewing seriously, and why did you dive into that realm?
Well, I think when I started seeing people get trafficked into the United States from the border and started seeing mass corruption within inside the government.
He can speak two languages, breaking boundaries here. Yeah, he did a mission, Chad. That's why he can speak Spanish. Which, judging by his English, I doubt his Spanish is that good.
I just couldn't believe that I met somebody at the border. She gives me her WhatsApp, and the next day she texts me and she's in New York City. I was like, how is this happening? How are people just being trafficked around the country? How are little kids just coming over here? How's there a 15-year-old girl, or I think she was 17-year-old girl from Dominican Republic, all by herself? How are people doing this, and how's the government enabling this to happen? I remember going to the border for the first time, and I saw migrants coming over the border. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Shouldn't they be running away?
Wasn't Governor Abbott the one transporting people from the Texas border to New York City?
Yes.
So you feel like there was mismanagement of the border on an executive Biden level and a state level?
Yeah. And I think Governor Abbott, that was his.
That's why he sounds like this? Is his Spanish accent? Oh yeah, is he from Barcelona? Is it a Catalan accent or whatever it's called? Is that why he's from Barcelona? That's why he sounds like this? Yeah, guy who did a mission in Chile learned fucking the Barcelona accent. Not lying when I say this guy speaks Spanish better than he speaks English.
Way of saying F you to the sanctuary cities, and for the Democrats for just accepting and letting this happen, saying, okay, well, we're not going to deal with it. You guys go ahead and deal with it. And we'll give them bus ticket to get out of our state or city.
So you feel like migrants kind of became political pawns for the two parties in America?
Yeah, well, we all know, obviously it was because they wanted to vote. Fill the swing states, fill the big cities. We would have seen what was going to happen, but thankfully Trump won.
How do you think Trump's doing so far this term?
I think Trump's delivering, especially on crises like the border. I think that's been the major win of this election. Right now, you're not seeing illegal migrants come into the country. Me and you both did videos at the Loopfield border. We spoke with migrants. That was the most inhumane thing that I think America's seen.
Yeah, which is why we should kill them and deport them. Yeah, it's so inhumane how these migrants come into the country, which is why we need to send them to El Salvador, to a fucking slave labor colony. I mean, I guess that's just how, that's low-key how Republicans operate, honestly.
Years as far as letting people be trafficked into the United States and then bringing them into the system, making them rely on the government, not giving them working visas, putting them inside of shelters, busing them all around the country. Families are separated. Thousands of children went missing. The government was literally trafficking children into the United States, trafficking people, incentivizing them to leave their houses in Colombia, leave their house in Ecuador, and then to come to the United States, and you're living in a shelter in New York City.
So is it
I got scared when I saw him do the gun noises. I thought he was shooting a gun. What if, when my mommy had to pull me aside and say, Nick, that's just a gun noise. He's not really shooting a gun.
true that gangs are inside of the Roosevelt Hotel?
I don't think he'd been to a clinic before making that video. Yeah. I did not realize that Nick Shirley walked to a healthcare provider waiting room, saw patients there, asked the receptionist what their healthcare rates are, posted that video as a part of their evidence of fraud, and was celebrated for his journalism. This is Ali G level. Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm kind of bored. I can't watch this fucking idiot even any longer than I already have. The Sean Ryan video was good too. Anyway, let's talk about Iran. Iran, ladies and gentlemen, the story that everyone has been waiting for, okay? Obviously, this is something that took place in Los Angeles where a U-Haul driver, possibly an MEK supporter, drove his van, his U-Haul van, into a crowd of Shah supporters. So the diaspora is fighting amongst itself. You know, blood is in the water. But this, of course, comes after days of a fuck ton of protests exploding all over Iran, and the government shutting off access to the internet as they usually do in times like this. only to stamp out these protests in the most violent and repressive ways possible. The protests have been going on for, 11 days at this point. And they have been incredibly bloody. Both the government security forces killing a bunch of protesters, including like random innocent civilians, as far as we understand. But also the security forces killing a bunch of protesters, and the protests themselves that have actually killed a bunch of members of the police. What? Typo, sorry.